Randy Spurlock. I'm with Combined Transport, and I am the Securement trainer. So today we're talking about securing an Eye Lengthwise metal coil on a flatbed trailer. Combined Transport's glass trailers are unique in the industry in that they do not have open rub rails, and we don't have a lot of attachment points for chains. Their primary purpose in life is to haul glass, so we have to be a little creative and use a little imagination sometimes when we're tying stuff down to these trailers. We're still doing it correctly and within the confines of the regulations, but sometimes you just have to plan what you're going to do. In the case of our trailers, we allow and we encourage chaining to our strap winches and our strap hooks. So while these are primarily devices that are utilized by 4-inch nylon straps, they still have a 5,000 to 5,400 pound working load limit. So we allow you to attach a chain to them if they're not being utilized by a strap. So there are 3 options with this coil, and the coils are named in relationship to how they are on the flatbed trailer. In this case, the eye is running lengthwise with the trailer, so therefore it's Eye Lengthwise, and the slang term for it is shotgun. So there's 3 options. Option number 1 is a tie down from one side of the trailer through the eye to the opposite side of the trailer at a diagonal, one from the same side of the trailer again through the eye to the opposite side of the trailer at another diagonal to form an X on the inside of that eye, and a 4-inch or 2-inch strap over the middle. So that is option number 1. Option number 2 uses direct tie downs, in that I throw a chain from a tie down point through the eye back to the same side of the trailer to form a C or a yoke, and I do the same tie down on the opposite side that goes from one side of the trailer through the eye back to the same side of the trailer. And remember, those are direct tie downs, and you only get 50% of the working load limit of that device. In this case, we're using grade 70 5/16" chains that have a working load limit of 4,700 pounds. In this case, their working load limit would be 2,350. So I'm just going to start throwing my chains through, and that was option number 2 with the C shape, and you throw a chain over the center of that one as well. Option number 3 is multiple devices over the center of the coil and nothing through the eye. That is generally always driven by the manufacturer or the shipper, and that they don't want chains to scratch or damage the edges or the material that's in the eye. That's a less common requirement, and it's not going to be a super heavy coil when you are required to tie down like that. So I am going to choose to use option number 2, which uses the direct tie down method. So I'm just going to get to it. We're going to be using steel edge protection to protect our chained edges from the coil edges, or vice versa. You're not going to put these in until you get tension, because you wind up chasing the edge protectors up and down the coil. make my attachments, I'm going to pull some tension into this. Open up my ratchet binder. So for those of you who don't know, I have not gone through my class, there are 28 threads on these eye bolts. If I come out about 17, if I make a proper attachment, I should have the appropriate number when I'm done that allows for tightening this device in transit. So at this point, I'm simply going to leave that so I can put my edge protectors in. And I'm going to walk around to the other side. All right, so we're back on the driver's side now on the Eyes Lengthwise coil. And I'm going to attach my two ends of my direct tie down. This time we're going to utilize the ratchet or the winch for our 4-inch straps. On the other side, we utilized our hooks for our chains. Opposite our hooks, we have our winches. So I'm going to use those, and I'm going to put those in. In this case, I'm going to do the same. Again, I'm going to put some tension in this. Okay, so I'm going to go around to the other side now, and I'm going to throw my 4-inch strap that's going to hook into this side over here, and I'm going to winch it on that side. I'm going to tie it down. That's going to stabilize this coil. Even though I'm working with a mock coil that only weighs a couple of 100 pounds, on a full-size coil, you can absolutely manipulate a full-size coil by tightening a chain up if you don't have the other side tightened. As you're tightening along and you're not noticing, all of a sudden the coil's creeping and now it's cantilevered on your trailer. So pay attention to that. These chains provide a lot of pulling power when you tighten them down. We've got this coil secured. It's eyes lengthwise. I need to discuss placement of the dunnage and the coil racks. So these are coil racks. The regulations refer to them as bunks and dunnage. The dunnage, or the wood, is supposed to be 4x4 or larger and needs to be a hardwood. It's not supposed to be a pine or a softwood. So those two things come into play. Placement of these coil racks is critical. They need to be placed on the inside of the outer edge of the coil. What that does is provide good strength across the width of that dunnage. If I'm placing these out here on the outside edge of the coil, what that allows to do, if I set a heavy coil in there, is for that dunnage to expand out or to bow, and that would allow that coil to sit on the deck of this trailer, and that is no bueno, no good. What I'm up here doing now is putting in my steel edge protection for underneath my chains. So I've got some tension on both sides. I'm simply going to, and if you got these too tight, sometimes you got to do a little manhandling. I may have got that too tight, so I'll be right back. And we go to the other side and do the same thing, which is where my tensioning devices are. So I'm going to talk about organization skills and being organized when you're doing this. If I was using snap binders in place of ratchet binders, to be safe, I would have to now come down to the side of the trailer and tighten these devices up, because you don't want to tighten up a snap binder standing on the deck of the trailer. I'm going to use these ratchet binders. I can tighten them up while I am here. So I'm going to flip that trigger. I was already going that way. Visually double check your work. We'll go over to the other one. All right, I am good as far as I can see. I'm double checking things as I go. I'm going to wrap my chains, wrap them down low. If I wrap them up around the ratchet or the handle, if I have to tighten this device in transit, it can get in my way and I might not be able to manipulate the trigger or make the ratchet. So I like to chain these ratchets down low and off of the device. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. A couple of more turns. And that is a tying down an eyes lengthwise coil in the second option.